At 30,000 miles, it's a good idea to drain and fill your transmission fluid, and to do another drain and fill at 60,000 miles. When you reach the third 90,000 mile interval, you'll need to replace the filter along with the fluid and add a new gasket. Today we're going to be doing all three: fluid, filter, and gasket. On this car, the oil pan for the engine is on the right passenger side of the vehicle. The transmission drain pan is on the left driver's side. First, we need to remove the drain plug bolt, and then all 18 bolts of the oil drain pan. I've removed all the bolts except two, and this is why. Even though we removed the drain plug bolt, there's still some fluid in the pan, and we don't want that spilling all over the place. The filter bolts right into the bottom of the valve body. There's 3 bolts and all 3 are 10 millimeter. You can see a light layer of sludge covering the bottom of the drain pan. There's also some sludge on the magnets. What you don't want to see are metal fragments. That would mean you're having some serious problems with your transmission. Don't forget to clean and replace the magnets. After the brake cleaner has had time to dry, I'm going to add the new filter. This is our used transmission fluid. We know we had the right amount of fluid in the car before draining it, so now it's a matter of replacing that exact amount back into the transmission. we need to know which side of the gasket faces down on the oil pan, and I'm going to spray that side with sealer. The other side of the gasket, we'll just leave that alone. We won't spray on both sides, just the one facing down onto the oil pan. The manual doesn't call for the use of any sealer to be applied to the gasket. We're only using sealer as a sort of adhesive so the gasket won't slip while we're trying to install the oil pan. But before we do anything, let's make sure the mating surface is good and clean all the way around. No grease, no oil, no leftover remnants from the last gasket. Everything from the last gasket should be scraped off and cleaned. I went around and screwed in all the bolts about hand tight. Now I'm going to torque them down with a torque wrench to 48 inch-pounds, going in a crisscross pattern from side to side. Then I'm going to go around a second time to double check each one for torque, and to make sure I didn't skip over one. When you have this many bolts, it's easy to skip one accidentally. And this is one job where you don't want to do that. If you miss a bolt or over tighten it or under tighten it, that's going to create uneven pressure on the oil pan, and there's going to be a leak. Do you remember this milk jug? We're going to pour it into the transmission dipstick hole. It wouldn't do any good checking the oil level now. The motor has to be running to get an accurate reading on the dipstick when you're checking the transmission fluid. The oil level is in between the hot and the cold marks in this middle area, which is about where we expected it to be. I drove the car earlier, but it's had time to cool off since then, and so the fluid should be in the middle. Let's run the transmission through the gears while it's in park, then we'll go on a drive that will heat up the transmission fluid. When we come back, I'll double check the fluid and see if we need to add any more oil. The fluid comes to the top of the hot marks, which is perfect. We don't need to add any more oil. The gasket and filter I used today was from PowerTorque. Everything fit together perfectly, so thumbs up to them. If you service these Toyota transmissions every 30,000 miles, they should easily run for 200,000 miles. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.